I just got back from the Joliet Public Library Star Wars Day. It is my absolute favorite too. But for those that don't know, the Joliet Public Library Star Wars Day is the first weekend in June, and it is a huge event for Star Wars costumers. Also, if you don't know, I'm Hawk. I make props and costumes. We'll go over what happened to Joliet. So I helped organize the parade part of the Joliet Public Library Star Wars Day. It's, like I said, my favorite event. And a lot happened this year, and I kind of want to go over bits and pieces of it. But first off, this is my old, check this out. This is my old camera, right? Camera I took with me to Joliet. And this button here, which is in the exact spot as the record button on my camera, Canon, is not the record button. This button is the record button. So when you get used to pushing a certain button to hit record, when that doesn't happen, it took me a lot longer to realize that than I'd like. And a lot of the footage that I wanted to have, I don't, because of a stupid button. These things happen. It's not really the end of the world. Like I said, a lot happened, and it was a fantastic event. I wish I'd recorded a little bit more. Next year we're going back to the public library, so things should get a little back to normal, and it should be easier to film. And I say film like it's the 90s, right? It's the public library, the Star Wars Day. Star Wars Day this year, downtown Joliet was under construction. They were replacing, I believe, sewer lines to the east of the library. So that whole street was just gone. Ottawa was there, but the other one wasn't. This is the one we walked down for the parade. So this year, we had to have it somewhere else. And we had it at the Slammers field. It's a beautiful field. Being in a different position or a different location completely changed the dynamic of everything. Normally we're there every couple of weeks to meet with the city. Our contact at the library, her name is Val. Val is fantastic. Very no nonsense. I like working with Val. Val's like, no, that's stupid. We're not doing it like that. And to just have the public library and Slammers to deal with, no one else. Oh, it was a dream. There were no middlemen. There were no people who thought they were people. It was very easy to do. It was a nice event, and it's been a while since it's been a nice event. But we get there nice and early because Kim and I stay the night, and then we show up first thing in the morning. We start setting everything up. Make sure all the doors are open. There's a place for the costumers to change. This year we had at the end there was 125 costumers. I don't know how many, what the public was. We had vendors all up and down the street. They lined up on the west of the stadium, and the artists were on the inside of the stadium. It was a nice setup. It was supposed to rain, at least a little bit, and it didn't, and that was fantastic. I keep harping on this, but this is my favorite event. I look forward to it all year long. When we go to C2E2, that's the booth I set up at. This is the public library booth because I love this event. We've been doing it for about 15 years now. Yeah, about 15. Because we did it right before we joined the 501st. Before Kim joined the 501st. I do it every year in my Tusk, or in my I do it every year in my Jedi, because like I said, I set the parade up. We get everything prepped, and then I tend to run to where staging is for the photo. So when people show up, I can just start lining everybody up. Staging a photo like this is real hard to do, right? We're all volunteers. None of us, I have no idea who will or won't be at the event until they are or aren't there. So getting a parade prepped beforehand, you can't do that. I have to see who's there. I have to line everybody up. I have to go, we got a lot of these, you should be here, a lot of these there. One year, we had one of our members in a vehicle lead the parade. It was in Ted's mall hauler. Ted wasn't driving, but it had sound system, right? And they went a bit quick. That year it went the mall hauler, my Sith Lords, 501st, the Tuscans, Rebels, Galactic Academy, and the Mandos. That's a bad formation. I learned my lesson on that one. So with the van moving, I wouldn't call it fast, but it was brisk. All the poor kids all the way at the back of the parade had to basically run the entire time. And that upset me. That was the year I decided that the Galactic Academy and the droids would probably always lead the parade. I want to make sure that the slowest are in front so they never have to run again. So this year we had to set up with the droids and the Galactic Academy. And there was this huge contingent of Mandalorians. More on that in a minute. Unfortunately, I pushed the wrong button, so we don't have any video evidence of what we're about to do. But, so it went droids, Galactic Academy, the Mandalorians. Then I went Rebels, Imperials, and we ended with Chicago Jedi. The reason the Chicago Jedi were in the rear instead of with the rest of the Jedi is they're a different group. And they have a banner that's a Chicago Jedi. We used to have one too. We don't carry it anymore because we just don't. It's more hassle than it's worth. Sometimes for the Thanksgiving Day Parade in Chicago we'll carry one, but usually we don't. So since they had a banner that separated them from everyone else, I wanted to separate them from everyone else. Not to be, like, you don't get to be with us, for the record. I like alike groups being alike together. Also with the Galactic Academy was my one non-Star Wars character. I have one non-Star Wars character in the entire parade, and that's Barf. My buddy Louie does an amazing Barf. And for a joke, he's like, can I show up one year? And I'm like, absolutely. And I think he walked with the Chewies and the Solos. It was amazing. And it had the spirit I wanted to express for the parade. So he's invited every year, period. And I'm glad when he does show up. So I get the parade all lined up. It takes a while. When you're changing, everyone changes until the last second. They're like Fremen. And in the last second, everybody just suddenly lines up. But in that moment in between, where I'm looking at my watch going, parade kicks off at 11, and it's 10:30, and there's no one here, I get a little nervous. And I look down the street, and I see just a mob of costumes coming towards me. I'm like, oh, thank goodness. We're actually done like 5 minutes to spare. And then they did the cutting thing, and the droids went woo, and everybody walked. And this time they went to the end of the alley, made a left, walked the other side, made a left, up a flight of stairs, and then back down to where I was. That's where this picture was taken. Before we got to, actually after that point. So I get everybody lined up, they start coming down. And as they come down, I tell them where to go. You need to be over there. I want this over here. Because it's easier to line everybody up. We all line up. I take my picture. Take a couple pictures. This camera has a panoramic feature where you can push and do the thing. I couldn't get it to work. It's a filming camera, so I don't, Next time, I think I'm going to invest in a vlogging camera of some kind. And see what we get. But everybody's lined up for this picture. We take the picture. And I was privy to a little bit of insider information. So I'm like, we have a lot of contingents of Mandalorian at the moment. I need all my Mandos to move forward. So every bunch of the Mandalorians move forward. And I made sure one person in particular was up in the front. And I'm like, I don't like the color palette, being all artistic. Now keep in mind, I'm on the second floor at this point. I have my acre on. And I'm talking through a microphone, so Everybody has to crank their neck to look at me, and I'm waving just drastically because it's part of the show, right? Everybody wants to see the dog and pony show. We're going to show them the dog and pony show. And I'm like, you get up front. I need you in the blue up front. And he's a big, tall guy, and he starts lumbering up front. And his girlfriend at the time says, "Why is he up front? He's tall. He's going to block everything. I don't care. I want him up front." And she and I had a little banter back and forth. And she goes, "He's too tall." I'm like, "He doesn't have to be." And I see this. She just stops like, "What? What are you talking about? What are you talking about?" And that's gave him enough time to fumble around in a pouch, turn around, get down on his knee, and propose to her. That's why she used to be. Now she is his fiance. And everybody erupts. It's amazing. We've had a couple proposals at Public Library, at the Joliet Public Library Star Wars Day. It's a lot to say. This one was great. That's why it's such a large contingent of Mandalorians. Most of them were from their home clan. I'm not sure what clan it is. If I figure it out, I'll put it on the screen. If not, we'll figure it out. I hit the wrong button. I didn't hit record. I didn't even get a picture. I had nothing. Man, I was mad. Later, after the fact, when I realized it. So where were we? The proposal. So he proposes and she says yes. Hoots and holler and everybody had a great time. For me, the group picture is pretty much the end of the event. I know, it's 15 minutes into it. I'm pretty much done. Everything from this point on is just enjoy the thing. We all find a place to stand and we take pictures with the public. You know, it's the 501st Troop. That's just kind of what we do. This one was really warm. I had a couple people who almost suffered heat stroke. There were a lot of people, a lot of water. The event was fantastic. The Chicago Jedi set up under this big tree. There's a large pavement pad, where they were, playing lightsabers with all the kids and having a good time. All the vendors were set up on the street. I believe everybody did okay. The artists I've talked to said they had a very good time, which is nice. I like when my artists are taken care of. Got to support the arts, right? The troop goes from 11, which is where the parade kicks off, to 4. We start packing up right around 3. It's a 4-hour troop. And it was a good troop. I had a great time. There are people there that I only see at Joliet. I have people who drive in from Ohio and Wisconsin. This year was weird because a lot of the people I really like seeing weren't there. It happens. It was an odd year. Next year we're going back to the library and the Renaissance Center and the museum. It's a nice little 3-group building with a road in the middle. Next year we're going to try and get bigger authors, which is kind of nice. Hopefully next year John Jackson Miller will be back. He wasn't there this year. He had another convention to do. Thinking about a couple of other big name authors. So next year should be interesting. Kim and I are probably going to switch up a couple of roles because there's certain parts of this event she does not enjoy. And it wouldn't bother me to do it. So, but all in all, Joliet is, again, my favorite troop of the year. 4 o'clock rolls around. We were doing a double troop this year with the Slammer Star Wars Day. Rex was ECing that one, and it was fine. Baseball games, not big into baseball games. I think there were 25 people that stayed for the second troop. We went back to the hotel. We were all excited because the hotel we were staying in had a pool, and we all get our pool stuff on, and we go downstairs, and it's Saturday around 5. A large hotel, and it was very people-y. People-y was fine. There were a lot of kids. jumping back and forth, and I can't fault them. Yeah, at that age, I probably would have done the same thing if I had access to a pool. I didn't get access to a pool very often. So I kind of looked at it and went, I think we're done. We show up on Friday. I forgot this, right? We're driving along going to the Restore and Goodwill's, because these are two that I don't get to very often. They're in our circuit that are just a little too far to visit. As I'm driving by, I glance over and there's a big sign that just says books. So I go to the Restore, go to Goodwill, and then we drive by, and I stopped at the books store, and this place, floor to ceiling, just hardbound, softbound. It was a bookstore. I love bookstores. Picked up a couple of books. I'm a big. So this is gonna sound weird. I read classic literature, and one of the classics that I was very fond of was the Lensman series. E. Doc Smith did a series. It's the Lensman series. It's like 6 or 7 books. I've never seen one in the wild. They had like 6 of them. I was like, they were like $60 a pop, and I was more than a little tempted. But yeah, I said no. I passed on. They're probably not going to move quick, so I still have time if I ever change my mind. There's lots of cool books there. I saw a original Dune board game. You don't see that very often. It was a very cool bookstore. It's just downtown Joliet. It's just as books. I see it every year. This is the first year we actually stopped. But didn't pool, and we all went, I could be at home in 45 minutes. Leftovers, so I don't even have to cook. As much as I love Joliet, I like the people. I love the people that I see there. They're like family that I only get to see once a year. An extended family that you almost never see. It's kind of nice to be able to see them and then leave. Next year should be fun. Thanks for sticking with me while I ruminate about an event I went to. Hopefully Editing Hawk has put a bunch of stuff here and there so you can see, say I do have video clip. I got to get better at this whole vlogging thing. I don't film outside of my Empire of Dirt very often, and I gotta try and get used to that a little bit, because it'd be neat to bring people along, let you see what it's like to do a couple of troops. It's a weird video. All videos are weird, but this one's weird because I'm not used to just talking, right? I need to build something. I need to do something. I didn't do anything except for have horrible hair. Jeez Louise. Yeah. Again, thanks for making it to the end. Next week we're building something interesting. I hope to see you there.